And welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
And I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other stories like fairy tales and folk tales and mythology.
And also,
you are here. Welcome. We're really happy to see ya.
We can't see you.
We can't see. Don't worry. If there's one thing we can promise is that we're not in your home. We don't see your red bedspread. And we don't think it's weird that the bird is here. We do wish you'd put on socks, though. Anyway.
If you put on socks, I'll be so mad.
Max wants to see your feet, you little weirdo.
No, I just don't want you to put them in a fucking toe sleeve.
Socks are normal. Toe sleeve, not a thing. Guys, this isn't for children. So turn it off. Especially turn it off when you get to the end, because I don't know how much I'm cutting out of the test. It was weird. Hey, guys, if you want to hear the full uncensored test, though, that will be up on our Patreon.
Yeah.
Max, tell them how they can access that.
You can go to Patreon. And pay us $7. And then you get a bonus episode every month.
Yeah.
Or for $3, you get access to the Discord and also access to the book club and other fun stuff. And you get to talk to us and hang out with us on the Discord, which you also get at the $7 tier. So $7, you get all that plus bonus episodes. $3, just the all that. No bonus episodes. If you have questions, send us an email, sortofthestory@gmail.com, or call me on my personal phone.
Her number
if you can find my number. You don't know my number. We established that you don't know my number.
Max and I played a newlywed game, and we failed. We did not know each other.
We kind of got into a fight.
We were both appalled that the other one wasn't more like us. I think I am constantly falling into the trap of thinking either you can read my mind or you just are like me. And what I realized is you can't read my mind. I'm just never not saying what's on my mind. That's the reason why I think you know me so well, is because you do. I have no secrets.
It's kind of like, it's like when you have heard like a song enough times, you're kind of like, oh, I know what's coming a little bit. You know what I mean?
Or like you've seen like a movie. Guys, have you seen a movie?
It's crazy. If you watch it twice, the second time, you'll know what's going to happen.
I always think that I'm like a fortune teller. I'm like, oh my God, I knew that was going to happen. But it's because I've done this before. So.
Janey is an inbox 0 person. I am an inbox 40 person.
Oh my God.
And how many? 40 all time. That's not 40 like a day or anything.
Guys, how much of unread mail is in your email account right now? Because I zero mine out this every chance I get. Max is a fucking monster. Wow. I love unsubscribing from shit. I love it.
I also love it. That's not the stuff that I leave unread.
Oh my God.
Stuff that I leave unread is I'm like, oh, I gotta remember to do taxes.
See, I'll never forget to do taxes. Every day it's just
we're different.
Every day is just an existential dread that I haven't yet done my taxes. Ugh. Okay, guys, do your taxes. Today we're gonna tell you some stories. And I'm going to go first, and then Max is going to go next, and then we'll say goodbye. And that's how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned if you want to hear that. Or if you were just here for the intro, thanks for stopping by. How was it? Good as good for you as it was for us? We hope so.
I give it 3 stars.
Wow. Hey, speaking of 3 stars, go on iTunes and rate us 5 stars. And also leave a comment, like a fun one. Like a nice one. Like a fun, nice one.
Yeah, don't rate us 3 stars. I'll cry. Janey will cry. We'll both cry a lot, and then we'll curse your name. So don't do that.
We'll cry so hard.
And not in a cute, fun, sexy way.
It will flood the world.
Yeah.
And it won't be cute or sexy. Except for mine.
Not
I'm
cute,
very cute
not
when I
sexy.
cry. Max, though, is horrifying.
All right. So do you want to tell me a story or like, what's up?
I can't wait. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey.
Max, did I make you sad with all my coughing?
Yes. You cough so much that you barked.
Yeah, that's true. I've been doing some very offensive coughing lately because I'm sick. But I'm only sick because I work in a petri dish and because my kids snot everywhere and I put my hand in it. That's why I'm sick. Max.
Janey.
Today I'm going to tell you a story from a tried and true little book of spells. It's called Tales of Superhuman Power, 55 Traditional Stories from Around the World by Chenga Virag Salka.
Dr. Chenga Virag Salka.
Our queen, who we love.
Queen Doctor.
This story is called Green Peter. Chenga. Yes.
Go on.
Green Peter, Changa personally calls this story Princess Hide and Seek when she tells it to children.
That's cute.
It is really cute. Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, there was a princess.
There's a princess.
There is a princess in my boot.
Oh my god.
I know, yeah, I'm saying boot in the English sense. I got a girl in my trunk.
Oh, Jesus. And it's Princess Diana.
Don't say that! Oh, no! Once upon a time, there was a princess who had a very special gift. She could see everything. And she didn't just have great eyesight. She could see things that were supposed to be hidden. Quote, people in other rooms of her castle, fish deep in the sea, gold in the belly of the mountains, and ladybugs hiding in the forest half a world away. End quote.
How does she stops seeing through things?
She has a little thing that she does.
Oh. No. I mean, like...
Yeah, I know. She has a little thing that she does so that she can see through things. I was also concerned that she was just never seeing anything. Because if you can see everything, you can't see anything.
But also, like, if she's looking for something, how does she find that thing and not look through it?
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like three-dimensional space.
Maybe she has to know what she's looking for.
And also where it is, which, like, kind of makes the whole thing a bit dumb.
I don't know.
What's the point?
Wow, the end, I guess. Max, do you want to tell me your fucking story?
Not really.
Can I continue?
I guess.
Jesus Christ. Don't let your kids...
Also, does she see people's bones?
She sees their buttholes constantly. When she grew up, her father told her it was time for her to marry. But whenever anyone came to the castle to ask for her hand... I put her hands. It's a different sentence. Whenever anyone came to the castle to ask for her hand, she realized they'd be nice and polite to her face, but then they would leave and do something really disgusting that turned her off.
Like they'd pooping.
They'd be mean to her servants, right? And she's like, well, don't be mean to servers. Like, they're just trying to do their jobs. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Or they'd steal. Or they'd hit on women that weren't her or something like that. And she was like, gross. Or they would, like, scratch their butt or something. And she's like, ew. Don't
Gross.
do that. Yeah. What's something that would give you the ick from a man?
There are specific video games that if I found out someone played, I'd be like, oh.
Oh my gosh, she found out that they had a YouTube channel where they talk about women who play video games.
They have a YouTube channel where they do impression comedy.
They have Max.
We've told this story. I don't have to revisit.
Max
my
super liked
shame.
a man on Tinder who turns out had a YouTube channel that he did impression comedy and was mean to women.
Yep.
Okay.
Ugh, nuts.
Nuts.
Happens every time. That one time.
Every time.
This was also 6 years ago, and the only person I've ever super liked. Yeah, and I can never go back.
Yeah, they won't accept you back.
No.
She finally told her father that the only way that she'd agree to get married was if a man could hide from her so that she couldn't see him. She was like, I need somebody to fucking trick me. Thanks. That's what I want. They released a decree that anyone who could hide from her could have her hand.
How will she know that?
She's gonna go find him. Don't worry.
So then no matter what they lose.
If they can manage to not be found.
But then how will she marry them?
Well, because then she'll say, like, come out. Max, can we listen to the story? What's happening here? Did you forget what this podcast? I feel like the rules are unclear. Can I just really quickly, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, what's up?
Max, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Max, this podcast is where I tell you stories and then you tell me stories. Fairy tales, folktales, mythology. Did you fucking forget?
I just feel like if we don't interrogate the things that we partake in, then what's the point of...
What do you think that maybe...
Engaging in a discourse.
Okay. Do you trust Changa?
I trust Changa.
Do you love Changa?
Yeah.
But
I just want to know the rules. I'm trying to establish the rules.
Do you think that she would ever write a story where you wouldn't... Max, can I get... Fine. All right. Can we... They're waiting out there right now. They're driving and they're just in silence right now.
They probably turn their volume way up.
And they're like, oh no, I guess we're just taking a break. They're just sitting there with no entertainment right now because you and I are doing this. Oh, guys, we're fine. Oh, we're fine. Everything's fine. We're not fighting. Okay. Max, are you ready? Max is drinking water real angrily.
Continue.
Okay. To recap, the princess made a decree. She would like to marry somebody who can manage to hide from her, because nobody else has managed to do that. So princes, knights, barons, and adventurers alike began to travel to the castle, but they all failed her test. No matter where they hid, the princess always found them, and she was always like, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. No more. Now, in the meantime, not too far away from the castle, a boy named Peter lived in the forest with his mother, father, and little sister. Because he spent most of his life wandering around the woods, climbing trees, and communing with nature, people called him Green Peter. Or in Hungarian, Zöld Péter. The Zöld has a little 2 dots above it.
Ah.
Yeah. For the first few years of his life, he was really, really happy. He had like an idyllic childhood. But when he was still pretty young, his mother had gotten sick and died. His father was a farmer and spent all his time out in the fields, unable to care for his children who still needed somebody at home with them. So he had decided to get remarried, to have somebody in the home to watch his kids, which I think is romantic and fine. No notes.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to like get a babysitter or a nanny. He wanted a wife. I think his father's a villain. But their new stepmother hated Peter and his sister. She was really mean to him, and sometimes when their father was gone during the day, she would beat them for fun.
God, what the fuck?
Yeah, sometimes she just thought it was fun to beat them.
It's my least favorite trope.
You're like, that's my least favorite way to spend my time. If I had to like organize all the things I like doing when I'm bored, beating children is like way down at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. No, it is. It might be like tied for last.
One day, when she was tired of being a mother, the stepmother decided to get rid of her children once and for all. So she slipped poison into their food at dinner. So,
as you do.
Yeah, to kill them. Except, as the kids were about to dig into their little meal, a white dove flew in through the window. It was open. Died. Glass in their food. They couldn't eat it. Her plan was foiled. No.
Also, they were traumatized for life.
Yeah, they could never eat again. A white dove flew in through the open window, and started to peck at Peter's hand. And then it whispered, "Poison! Poison!" Until he dropped his spoon and was like, "What are you trying to tell me, bird?" I guess nobody else noticed that there was a bird talking to him. So at that point, he grabbed his little sister's hand and he ran out the house with her, and they just never went back. He was like, "We're getting the fuck out of here. That bird is talking."
Yeah, fair.
The brother and sister traveled for a very, very, very long time. They just lived in the woods together, and he kept them alive, and then they just wandered. One day, while they were walking, Peter noticed a baby bird on the ground, and he looked up at the tree, and he was like, "Oh my God, I guess it fell out of the nest," and it's just like hobbling around sadly and just being upset. And so he like felt sorry for it, so he picked it up, and then he scrambled up the tree like a little squirrel, and he deposited it back in his nest, and then he climbed back down, and they continued on their sad journey until they came to a river. And on the riverbank, Peter saw a tiny fish stranded in the sand, and it was just like flopping around on the sand and trying to get back to the water, but like clearly dying out in the open air. So without a second thought, Peter, who was walking by, picked it up and tossed it back into the river, right? And then the little flash of silver, and it was gone. And he didn't think anything more of that. That was just normal stuff. So they walked on some more until they came to the king's city, and they stopped to rest on the side of the road. It was a really hot day, and everything was like really dusty and dry. And as they sat there, Peter saw a large rose bush that was all dried up and withered. And he thought to himself, like, it's a shame nobody's sitting here taking care of this. It'd be beautiful, and also it would provide shade and stuff. Like, it's just, all it needs is water. So he, like, walked himself back to the river, and he filled up his hat with some water, and then he came back, and he watered the rose bush. Peter's a caretaker. What we've noticed from him is that he takes care of shit. I like Peter. And then they moved on, right? He watered a bush, he took care of a fish, he put a bird back in the nest, he's having a good day. They didn't walk for very long before they met some people on the road, and everyone was talking about Princess Hide-and-Seek's challenge. Yeah, Jenga calls her Princess Hide-and-Seek. So many royal, rich, and important men had tried and failed to win her hand. Now the king was desperate, and literally anyone was welcome to come and try, right? He's like, who the fuck wants anybody? Can you hide? Come hide from my kid.
Take my daughter, for example.
So Peter was like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, when am I ever going to get this chance again? Like, I'll go and try to hide from her. That's fine. And so he went to the castle, and the king was like, yeah, you can try. You get 3 chances. Basically, you have 3 days in this challenge to find a hiding space. But on the 3rd time, you're kicked out. You can't be here anymore. You have to leave. You're exiled.
And if we ever see you again.
And she will. But Peter was stumped when he actually had to go find a hiding place. The princess could see moles digging in tunnels under a mountain. So where would he possibly hide that was better than that?
Under the moles.
Oh, he should hide under the moles. He should just hide behind like a bunch of moles. He's like,
he should just hide directly behind her.
She's like, I can hear you breathing.
But have you found me?
Yes. So,
he should hide inside of someone else's skin.
Oh, it's funny. You should say that.
What?
He tried several places, but none were right. And after a while, he was like utterly discouraged. He wandered into the royal gardens and he sat down, feeling sorry for himself. When he heard a little chirp.
Oh my God, he's going to turn into a bird.
Chirp, chirp. He looked up and he saw the bird he had rescued standing on a branch above his head. And the bird cocked his head and said, "What's the matter, Peter? Why are you so sad?" Not feeling weird about this bird with the deep voice talking to him. This isn't his first rodeo, after all. Peter explained his predicament. Remember that other bird that came in and was like, "Poison! Poison!"
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is like, "What's up?"
Are they... I don't want to say this because I feel like it's going to sound bad, but like, are they related?
Wow. Wow. Yes. The bird said, "I can help you. I'll be right back." I'm sorry. No, it didn't. It said, "I can help you. I'll be right back."
Oh, now it's a vampire.
And he flew up quickly. Sometime later, it returned with a friend, a giant eagle, big enough for a man to ride on top. And the eagle bowed its head and told Peter to climb on. And when he was comfortably sat on its back and holding onto its thick feathers, the eagle said, "Hold on tight, spider monkey." And they shot up into the sky.
Ba-dum-ts.
My stomach is just like... It's doing some things.
Yeah, it's like a little rock tumbler in there.
What's happening to me? Am I going to die?
Maybe.
Oh, no. Remember me as I was. They flew
Full
up.
of rocks.
Full of rocks. I shouldn't have eaten all those rocks. They flew up and up and up until they reached the sun. And then the eagle hid directly behind it. And they were like, I'm so warm and no one's ever going to find me. Morning came and the princess walked out into the garden. She rubbed her eyes, she spun around on her heel, and she looked around. And she had only searched for a few seconds when she called out, come out, Peter, from behind the sun. I see you."
Oh my God, and then she goes blind.
So disappointed, Peter and the eagle flew back down, and Peter walked back to the castle. Now he only had 2 days to complete this challenge, so he spent several hours searching for the best place to hide, but he kept coming up short. No place was better than the sun. He's like, I started way too high. Now, like, what do I do? So he walked to the river, and he, like, splashed his feet in the water, and he just kind of, like, moped and sulked and mumped and moaned.
Mumped.
Mumped and moaned. Is that not the thing?
No.
What's mumped and moaned? Where did I get that from?
I have no idea. Mumped is, maybe not a word. If it is a word, I don't think it means that.
Lumped and loamed.
Hemmed and hawed?
No. Suddenly, moped and moaned?
Griped and groaned.
Griped and groaned is a good one. I like mumped and moaned.
That's not what mumps is.
Mumped and moaned. Suddenly, a little fish poked its silver head out of the water and said, "Why the long face, pal?"
Oh, this fish sucks.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Also, how does he know that this is the same fish?
Oh, it said it was a familiar fish. Peter explained his predicament, and the fish said, "I've got an idea. Stay right there." And then it dove back down into the water. It came back up, followed by a much, much bigger fish. This fish was large enough to swallow a man whole, and it opened its mouth for Peter to climb in, which, like, he was like, no, thank you. Oh, that's so nice. And the story was like, but the fish kept, like, nudging him into the fish mouth, and he's like, I just really don't want to be in there.
Gross.
So eventually, he was swallowed by this giant fish, and the fish dove deep, deep down into the river and then buried itself in the mud. So the next morning, the princess walked out in the garden. She rubbed her eyes, she spun around on her heel, and then she said immediately, come out, Peter, from the belly of the fish, from the bottom of the river. I see you."
Damn.
Yeah. I think that she could just, if she's looking for something, she finds it. That's what I think is happening.
Interesting.
So, The fish swam back to the surface, and a very upset Peter climbed out of its mouth, covered in fish goo. He only had one more chance to hide, and he had no idea what could be better than his last two choices.
Yeah, both pretty good.
He's going to have to do Max's thing of climbing on her back or whatever.
He gets a mustache. She's like, I don't know, where is
he? He sets up a mirror frame and then stands in the garden. So when she comes out, she thinks she's looking at herself.
He gets a bunch of face tattoos of another person's face.
He's doing, like, impression comedy. And she thinks it's someone else. Okay, so he spent the rest of the day sitting in the garden, racking his brains for ideas, but he found none. He was going to lose. And so as the sun began to set, the shadows, like, started growing longer and longer. He suddenly heard a voice. Peter, what's wrong? Why are you so sad? What's wrong, Peter? You sad boy. Oh, you sad boy. Look at that mumpy moany boy. And Peter was like, ugh. And he looked around, but he couldn't see anyone. After a moment of confusion, the voice said again, tell me what's wrong, Peter. Maybe I can help. Peter jumped up, realizing that the voice was coming from the rose bush he was sitting next to. He barely recognized it, Max. It was lush and beautiful, and it was covered in roses and thorns and green leaves and bugs. Apparently.
Some good, some bad.
A rose by any other name is still a regular fucking rose bush. Apparently, that hat full of water had done the trick, and it was nice now.
Oh, he has so many minerals on his scalp.
Once he was over his surprise, Peter told the bush his problem, and the bush chuckled and said, come here, Peter. Get over here. Give me a little hug. I'll hide you. At first, Peter was very cautious. He'd never kissed a bush before. He might like it, though. Anyway, get your head out of the gutter, Max. The bush was covered in thorns, right? That's why he didn't want to kiss it. Not because he's against that.
The bush did say kiss me?
No.
Wait, hang on.
We're both very tired. At first, Peter was very cautious. The bush was covered in thorns after all. But as he stepped closer, the bush opened up, embraced him, and turned him into a red rose.
Aw.
So the next morning, the princess walked out into the garden once more. As she was walking past the rose bush, she stopped to smell the beautiful flowers, and she, like, buried her face in it for a bit.
And then she came out covered in scratches.
And after she'd done that, she plucked the most beautiful of the flowers and she put it in her hair. And then she rubbed her eyes, she spun on her heel, and she looked, and she looked, and she looked, but she couldn't find Peter. He was nowhere to be found. So she rubbed her eyes again, and she looked. But he wasn't anywhere. Where was he? So finally she laughed and said, Peter, Peter, come out wherever you are. I can't see you. And a voice very close to her said, I'm right here, princess. I have been this close all along. And the rose turned back into a fine young man with green eyes. I forgot to say he landed green
on her shoulder and broke her collarbone.
She broke her neck. He was on her shoulders, which is weird. And Peter was declared the winner of the challenge. And the princess didn't mind that she had been bested because she liked Peter, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
They hadn't had a single conversation.
No.
And then the last line of the story says, Peter brought his little sister to the place.
The palace.
Peter brought his little sister to the palace. In time, he became a king. The princess became his queen, and his little sister became a princess. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.
That's so cute.
It's a cute little story. I can see telling that one to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I like that his little sister, like, he continues to take care of her throughout the whole story. Like, he's just the kid. Like, his character arc is just that he takes care of people and he doesn't forget them. It's like a nice guy.
Yeah. By the same token, I don't know why his little sister was a character.
He needed an excuse to leave. I think that this is probably the type of person that wouldn't have left.
Oh, he would just be like, I guess I'm eating poison.
Well, he probably could have, like, taken care of himself and, like, made it to adulthood and then gotten a job, you know? But the fact that she was also trying to kill his little sister was like, uh-oh. I don't know if I can keep her alive. You know?
Maybe.
So, here's some notes. This story is from the section Heightened Senses, and the ability is Enhanced Sight or X-ray Vision. The story is Hungarian, and Chenga knew about it from cartoons she would watch as a child. But she changes the story around when she tells it to elementary schoolers. She calls it Princess Hide and Seek or Princess Peekaboo.
Aw.
I know. I love Jenga so much. She says that the moral of the story is that sometimes the things we are searching for are closer than we think. And she also says, she makes the suggestion that I clocked because now I'm a teacher and I'm constantly looking for integration. And she says, a good way to integrate this story into science lessons would be to include it whenever children learn about the records of nature. So when you're talking about like deepest parts of the ocean, highest mountain, biggest bird, whatever, you bring in Princess Hide and Seek and how far she has to look and stuff, which I think is fun. This is in the Thompson motif, and it is F642, person with a remarkable sight, and a variant of the story can be found in the collection of the Brothers Grimm's fairy tale. It's called The Sea Hare.
The Sea Hare.
Hare.
S-E-E?
S-E-A. I know. Doesn't seem like it would have anything to do with it, but it does.
I like that I was right, and that he did just have to hide behind her.
You really did. You called it right away.
I love puzzles, and I solved it immediately.
Right, so that is green, Peter.
Wow. Him being green didn't also really come into it.
He has green eyes. That's mentioned a couple times, and they call him that because he is very at home in the forest. Like, he's very nature-based.
But that doesn't...
Yeah, it really doesn't come into this tale.
Is he a recurring character?
No, but there's other variations, I think, and I think that this is Chenga's memory of this. I don't know. I feel like maybe I would like to read another version of this where it's more... I mean, a longer version, I'm sure, would have more nature-based stuff, you know? Fan fiction. Did I tell you about a dream that I had? That we had a sort of the story con where it wasn't a con. We weren't selling stuff. What we did was all of our people on our Discord came over to our house and we sat around and wrote fan fiction.
A sleepover is what that's called.
No, it was a con at our house.
No, that's a sleepover.
We stayed up all night in our pajama and we wrote fan fiction. And then we all made each other read it. We like kept passing it in a circle.
That was the premise of the other one episode of a podcast that I did. Back in college. The fan fiction one that I did with John and Connor.
Tell them about
one episode. No. No, we need to cut all of this. Nobody can find that.
I just think it's very fun.
Mm-hmm. I did one episode of a podcast when I was in college with some friends of mine, and the premise was that I read crossover fan fiction from two different like media sources.
Yeah.
But I changed all of the names and like identifying characteristics and then
fun.
Had them guess which two properties it came from.
I want to play that game. If we ever do another tier, I always say if we ever do another tier of our Patreon and we added other things, that would be like a video idea. I would love to do that together.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very fun. Mine would all be Fast and the Furious theme. You know me. Like Fast and the Furious, but set in Spice World. And Vin Diesel drives the bus.
The spice and the spicier.
Oh my God. Anyway. Okay. You want to take a little break?
Okay.
Okay. We'll be back. Bye.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
The story that I have for you today, episode 123, is The Gypsy Woman and the Cave. I used the same book for the episode that I did last week. To reiterate, the short version, gypsy is a slur. Don't use it to describe people unless they are using it to self-describe and have told you that that's something they're comfortable with. A lot of times, the more proper term is Roma or Romani, but not always. And there are other different nomadic groups of people who are not Roma or Romani and who are put under the umbrella term of gypsy historically. To reiterate, not something you should ever call someone, not a word that you should use. Just in general, there are exceptions, but hey, if you didn't know, now you know.
I want a little ring. The rainbow, now you know.
Wow.
Wow. So we can't just say a slur.
Well, most people don't even know that it's a slur. It's like it's one that,
or they've heard it, but they don't know if it's serious.
Yeah. And I mean
But so. This is a book.
This is a book. The book is called Gypsy Folktales by Diane Tong.
Yeah.
This story is called The Gypsy Woman and the Cave, and the people in it are described as gypsies. Mm-hmm. So knowing nothing else about their background, I don't have a clear descriptor, so I'm going to use the same terminology. Mm-hmm. So this story is from Gypsy Folktales by Diane Tong. Diane Tong collected this story from a man named Lazaros Heresiadis, who was, and as far as I know is, a Greek gypsy musician from northern Greece. So he had a huge family of gypsy musicians in northern Greece. And then he, and I assume some of his family moved over to the United States, and he lived in New York City for a really long time. I tried to look him up. The only thing I could find was a lawsuit against a landlord.
Oh, his lawsuit?
Maybe.
Oh my
Unclear.
God.
I'm not a lawyer.
All right.
I hope he won, though.
Yeah, I hope that the landlord lost.
Yes. Diane Tong does an amazing job of setting up these stories with like how she came across the story and sort of just generally the context of the story and how it was told to her. She has a really cool quote from Lazarus Hrisiadis at the beginning of this story, so I'm just going to read that.
Okay.
We didn't have blankets and we were cold, but we warmed ourselves by telling the folktales I'm telling you now and other old stories. The old men told them so we, the younger ones, could learn them, and this is the wealth that stays with us today. And so our riches are in these stories, not in our pockets.
If I was cold, you
would be like, fuck this story.
Yeah.
I will burn the concept of history
like,
to stay
I'm
warm.
like, let's start burning the books. Like, I become a different person when I'm cold. You haven't even seen the real me, Max. I've been cold for the last, 10 years.
Oh, so this is the bad way? What happens if you get colder?
Oh, I die. It just gets, no, that doesn't get worse than this. I just perish.
That's a kind of a relief, honestly.
It's pretty bad.
Boom.
You were about to say boom roasted? Because I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if I was cold and somebody was like, here, let me tell you a story. No. Climb on top of me. What are you doing?
I feel like that's information that you shouldn't share out in the world because...
Oh, I thought you were like, Janey, that's one of those inside thoughts you shouldn't have shared on this podcast.
No. I'm just saying maybe people don't need to know that all they need to do for you to be like, climb on top of me is just be somewhere cold.
I one time abandoned Max because our air conditioner stopped working and it was 90 degrees in our house. In the opposite spectrum. I don't have to just be cold. I can be hot. I just straight up, I found somebody on Tinder and I was like, I'm coming over.
I am such a baby about being too warm and I was fine. So maybe I'm just hardier, cooler, chiller, smarter.
No, you got to go to work that day. I was here trying to get our air conditioning to work outside all day. Okay.
So, the story that I'm telling you, it's happening.
Okay, Max, we can do this and we can do it fast. Let's do it.
So I think that quote's really cool. I think it's very cool that he's like, it's a really cool sentiment about storytelling that it's like, we didn't have a lot, but the riches that were passed down, like sort of our ancestral wealth is in stories and not in, money.
Oh, blankets.
Yes. So at the beginning, the story explains that gypsy caravans are often nomadic. They travel around and they will, do things for money.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are tricks, there's like card games and stuff like that. One of the things that this particular group of gypsies that the story is about, one of the things that they do is that they tell fortunes. So they go around, they tell fortunes for like bits of bread or money or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's this older woman who is kind of like the fortune teller. And they're camped out outside of this city. And the old woman goes into town and she's like, I'm telling fortunes. Who needs their fortune told?
Mm-hmm.
This woman walks up to her and is like, hi, I need you to tell my fortune. And the gypsy woman's like, okay.
So far, this is a pretty great transaction. She's like, I'm telling fortunes. Who needs their fortune told? And the woman's like, I need my fortune told. Here is some money. It's pretty straightforward commerce. I like it.
That's the capitalist machine at work.
Yeah. They're killing it. They're both doing their roles nicely.
Yeah. And so the gypsy woman's like, now here? And the woman's like, well, why don't you come to my house later and tell my fortune?
Mm-hmm.
And so the gypsy woman is like, all right. So later on, she goes to this woman's house. And as she's coming up, she walking up to this house that this woman lives in. And her neighbor walks out of the house and sees that this woman is walking into the woman's house.
Yeah.
And the neighbor makes a sour face and a rude gesture at the gypsy woman. Stop. Don't tell them what gesture that was. funnier.
I did a rude gesture.
So the neighbor sees this
It was
woman.
a fisting gesture. Okay.
Oh my god.
I know, I'm sorry. I couldn't leave them hanging. I like them.
You gotta do something to keep the mystery alive.
I think we both know that we're not capable of that.
So this neighbor comes out of her house, sees the fortune teller going up to her neighbor's house, and is like, ugh, and like makes a rude gesture at her, and is like, ugh. And the fortune teller's like, all right, fuck me then, I guess. And the neighbor leaves.
Mm-hmm.
The fortune teller goes up to the woman's front door, and she knocks, and the woman answers the door, and she's like, fantastic, I'm so glad that you're here. And she invites her inside, and she says to the fortune teller, I'll give you whatever you want if you can tell me what's in my heart.
Oh.
And then they started making out.
Oh.
No. She says, I'll give you whatever you want if you can tell me what's in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And the gypsy woman looks around her house for a second and is like, okay, I think I know what's in your heart.
Oh.
And the woman's like, wow, that was fast.
Based off your home decor, I would say, I don't know, a live, laugh, love poster, a scented candle, and yep, essential oils that you are trying to sell to me right now in the guise of getting your fortune told.
I need you to tell me what's in my heart. And also, is it chamomile? It feels like chamomile.
You know what's in my heart? The ability to be my own boss. And you can too.
Good. So the fortune teller says, well, what's in your heart is the truth. And the truth is this. You live in a really bad neighborhood and things aren't going well for you. Things are especially not going well for you in this house. Your neighbors are jealous of you because you're a good housewife and all that. Quote.
Well, this lady's telling you exactly what you want to hear.
Yes. She's like, you're so good at keeping this house
Yeah.
that everyone's really jealous.
But you're
And
really
all of your
pretty,
problems
too.
are because of the people who live around you.
Yeah.
Because they're all jealous and shitty and you're actually doing really good.
So
So
you're the only good thing about this neighborhood.
yeah, so you should like, don't let them smother your light. You know?
I want you to say this with me. What are we going to do? We're going to live, laugh, and love. Get out of here. Fig came in here just fucking talking. What do you want from us?
Just to hang out.
Pass.
She gets lonely.
Hi, honey. Oh, hi. You have to be quiet, though.
So the fortune teller tells her that she's perfect and has never done anything wrong, and wow, your house is beautiful and your husband is so lucky.
Yeah.
And the woman says, bravo, you found out everything. What do you want me to give you? I'd even give you my heart.
What?
Yeah, it really seems like this woman is hitting on the fortune teller.
I even give you my heart and my bra.
Oh.
What are you going to do with that?
What are you going to do?
You're going to wear it. I wouldn't.
It's pretty sticky. Why?
It also...
I will give you anything you want if you can tell me what's in my bra.
I'll give you anything you want if you will tell me how to get out of this bra. I cannot work the class. She's like a little duck that's caught in an oil spill. She just can't get her bra.
Because she's too slippery.
Help me. We're too tired for this. I don't even think that's a funny image.
It's kind of funny. It's also funny to imagine a duck that has boobs. That one's just a free little...
You can think about that if you want.
They can't even arrest you for it.
No, they can't. My chair is too squeaky. Go.
Where?
Finish your story.
I just started it.
We can do it.
So the woman says, bravo, you found out everything. What do you want me to give you? I'd even give you my heart. And the fortune teller's like, well, bread or money would be good. Maybe cheese?
I'd even give you my heart. And she's like, no, your heart has a bunch of jealous bitches in it.
It's sticky. I'm like, why?
We've established that your heart has some problems.
So she asks for bread, cheese, money, any, all, none, whatever.
Those are also the 3 things that you want.
Me?
Yeah, bread, cheese, and money. I feel like, yeah, check, and check. Thanks.
Honestly, I could... No, that's not true.
Are you going to say I could do without the money?
No. I was going to say swap out one of them for, like, a treat. But I guess cheese and bread are a treat.
Is the treat, man.
But I don't want to be exclusive to bread and cheese as my treat. Money, sweets, and treats is what I need.
Bread, cheese, money. You go to the store, buy yourself a treat.
But then what do I do with the bread and cheese?
You eat it. Well, who are you? Hey, Max. What the fuck is going on?
Hey, Janey, can I talk to you?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do this really quickly. What the fuck is happening?
I'm a clone.
Okay, I like when I'm like, hey, Max, can I talk to you real quick? Like, just off to the side. I have tried to make a conscious decision to stay in front of the microphone and whisper. You move your head so far away from the microphone as if you're actually hiding from it. I can't hear you. You're too far.
Janey.
Stop that.
Hey, what's up, Janey?
Max, you're not doing it right.
I'm not doing it right. Anyways, so she's like, I don't actually need a heart. I do need food or money. Would be good.
Sustenance.
Yeah. And so the woman gives her bread, cheese, money.
Good.
All you need for a grilled cheese sandwich and money.
A grilled money sandwich.
Grilled cheese money sandwich. Delicious.
Oh, grilled cheese with
wow.
extra cheddar.
Oh, it's that childish Gambino line. Are you hungry? Have a sandwich. Here's my wallet, cheese and lettuce. It's that.
I fucking love
the
Donald
lettuce
Glover
is money
so much.
and the wallet is bread.
I feel like if you got any childish Gambino line tattooed on your body, it would be, are you hungry? Here's a sandwich. Take my wallet, cheese, and lettuce. That's a really funny line to get tattooed on you.
If I was to get I know every single word to Freaks and Geeks, and if I was to get one of the lines tattooed, it would not be that one. It would be, took the G out your waffle. All you got left is your ego. Because I like that one a lot.
So good.
So good.
The only line I can think of at the moment.
You coming out of because that's poetry in motion?
No. The only line I
also
can think of at the moment is him in Heartbeat saying, I'm just kidding. You say the nastiest shit in bed is fucking awesome.
I'm just playing from one song. So the woman gives her cheese bread money.
Yeah.
And she tells her, if you come back tomorrow, I'll have something for you to do. And I will pay very well for it.
Don't do that. This lady's shady as fuck. You didn't do anything.
Yeah. So the fortune teller is like, all right, I will be back tomorrow.
Oh my God, she's going to be like, I'm going to have you kill my neighbor.
Honestly, maybe. That's kind of the vibe.
Right?
So the fortune teller begins walking home. So where the camp is set up is a ways out of town because they're not allowed to be very close to town.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a walk for her to get back home. She gets back home and she shares the bread and the cheese and the money with all of the people in the camp and everything. Mm-hmm. They all have a delicious grilled cheese money sandwich that they all share.
So to say, she shares the bread cheese with everyone in the camp? Yeah. They each get like a cube of cheese. How big is the cheese? Was it a wheel of cheese?
I also don't know how many people are in the camp.
I don't think that... And I don't want to diminish...
Like, camp can just be you and one other person.
I don't want to diminish the amount of work that she did. Like, the quality of work, I guess. But she stayed there for, like, 2 seconds. She's like, girl, everyone's jealous of you. And then she got, like, a wheel of cheese and a loaf of bread. And money? I feel like what she did wasn't worth anything.
You are inventing those details.
She gave her $75 and a wheel of brie.
It's a really weird cheese to give someone. It's not very versatile.
Brie is versatile as hell.
Janey.
You can have savory brie. You can put it with jam. You can put honey on it. You can do baked brie. You can just eat that shit whole. Eat that shit whole.
Much to consider.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you for your opinion.
I just really want you to not forget that.
Okay. I won't. So she gets back home. She shares the food and the money with the camp.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, she wakes up early and she starts walking towards town. She gets a little over like halfway into town when the sky starts to cloud over. And very shortly, it begins pouring rain. And she's not close to town. She still has like 20 minutes left of walking to get into town.
Yeah.
And it is like pouring rain. There's lightning, there's thunder. And so she ducks off of the road and into the forest to find some place to get cover until the rain passes.
Yeah.
And she comes across a cave entrance in the woods. And she ducks inside, and it's surprisingly warm in this cave. And she's like, this is great. I'm glad that this cave is here.
Yeah.
She turns around to look into the cave, and she sees that it goes down a ways. And then at the bottom, she sees a campfire.
Oh.
And so she makes her way down further into the cave. And as she gets closer, she realizes that there is a campfire, and it is surrounded by 12 young men. Why did you make that face?
I've seen this porn.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Continue.
No.
Fucking check my porn search history. It's all 12 young men around a campfire. Wet young woman stumbles into a cave. Surprisingly warm cave filled with 12 young men.
That kind of sounds like that might be something you would search for.
Guys, can everybody just quickly Google 12 young men in a wet cave?
I don't think you should do that. So she gets towards the back of this cave.
Yeah, she does.
Janey. She gets down to the back of the cave, and the young men are all like, "Oh, hello, welcome. Please come sit by the fire with us. We know it's raining out. Feel free to sit down and warm yourself for as long as you need." And so she sits with them for a little bit, and it's very warm by the fire, and she's very, very happy because her clothes are soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then one of the men says, "Tell us, grandmother, where are you going?" And she says, "I'm on my way to the city. I was caught in the downpour, and I had to hide somewhere because it was just pouring rain."
Yeah.
And she says, "And I found you, my golden children."
Oh.
And so another one of the men says, "Do you know why it's raining? It's the month of March. And in March, the cold is awful. And the snow, what a terrible month it is."
March fucking sucks.
I'm telling
Happy
this story
March,
because
guys.
it's March. I'm telling this story because it's March.
It's March now.
It's March. He's like, it's raining because it's March.
Yeah.
And March is bad. And rain happens in March, and that sucks. And fuck March. And she says, "Don't say that, children. The month of March is the best. It brings April when spring comes. Without the month of March, we'd have no spring. And if there were no February, there would be no March."
I'm sorry, have you never heard the phrase April showers bring May flowers? March just brings more fucking rain.
March brings April, which brings spring.
March brings April, which brings showers, which has showers that bring spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she says, and February brings March. So really without February, you wouldn't have spring either. And then she does this for all of the months in the year.
Oh, no.
And she just extols the virtues of every one of the months.
And it's the same thing over.
Yeah. And she's
again.
like, and you wouldn't have October if we didn't have September. And if you didn't have September, you wouldn't have August. And also, if you didn't have September, you wouldn't have October. So
You're never gonna fucking guess what brings August. It's July. It's July.
Oh, is it July?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And at the point that she's finished, she's mostly dry and the rain has stopped outside. And she's like, "Well, I'd better be going on." And the men say, "Now, where are you going?" And she says, "Well, I'm going back to my tent to feed my hungry children," because she's not going into town anymore, I guess. She was like, "Well, I got rained on and now I'm going home." That's relatable to me. I'm wet and I don't want to do anything. I'm going to go home and eat some bread and cheese.
You can go get paid by telling that lady that her hair looks
Yeah,
nice.
but what if I went home and eat bread and cheese instead?
All right. It's fair. It's a good question.
Yeah. And the men say, "Bring us your sack and don't open it until you get home. And she's like, okay. And so she takes the little rucksack that she has on her back and she gives it to the men, and they all kind of crowd around it. And she hears them like muttering, and like they open the sack and start putting stuff in. And then they sew the bag shut and they give it back to her. And they're like, remember, don't open this until you get home. And thank you for stopping. I hope that the rest of your day is dry.
It's a prank. They took all her cheese out.
It's full of snakes.
It's full of snakes now. Don't open this until you're home.
They're like, we hate spring.
We didn't like your weird little month story.
So she takes the sack and she goes home. When she gets back home, she opens the sack, and to her surprise, it's full of gold coins.
What? Her gold
Yahtzee.
children gave her gold coins?
Yes.
Yahtzee?
What? Yahtzee?
Excellent.
That's a bingo.
They gave her a bingo even though she's a March apologist.
Oh, they gave her a bingo for her Yahtzee. She gets home, she opens this bag, she finds that it's full of gold coins, and all of the children gather around her are like, oh, magic, it was magic. And she realizes the 12 men that she met in the cave were the 12 months of the year.
Oh,
And
they loved her story.
Yes.
Wow. So which one of them was March? That all his brothers were like, we fucking hate this guy.
He probably sucked. Yeah, so she had complimented all of them in turn, and they had been flattered, and so they gave her a gift of money in a bag.
That's nice.
What a good gift.
That's a good gift. That's the guys, by the way, when I say come to my birthday party, I expect cash gifts. Thanks. Just like this lady.
So the next day she goes back into the city again, and the story does establish, they're like, yes, she has a bag full of gold coins, but she would not be a gypsy if she didn't want to continue doing what she was doing. So it's kind of like the idea is that like it's a cultural thing of always being seeking.
Yeah.
Sort of. So it's like just because she has money doesn't mean that she's not going to go tell fortunes and ask for money. Which is fair.
Listen, always be seeking.
Yeah. Gotta stay on that grind.
A-B seeking.
If you wanna earn that bread.
Here's my wallet, sandwich dinner.
Here's my wallet, sandwich dinner. So the next day she goes back into the city again.
Okay.
And she goes to the woman's house, you know, to go do whatever the weird thing is that she wanted her to do yesterday, but it was raining.
Yeah.
And as she's walking up to the woman's house, she runs into the quarrelsome neighbor who flipped her off earlier. And the neighbor stops her and is like, hey, you were in my neighbor's house yesterday or the day before, right? And she's like, yeah. And the neighbor's like, well, I know that you're probably helping her with something, right? And the fortune teller is like, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I guess.
And the neighbor is like, whatever it is that you're doing for her, do it for me instead, and I will give you twice as much money. And she's like, you don't even know what I'm... So the neighbor says, whatever she gives you, I'll give you more. Now tell me what you want.
No, tell me what you're doing.
So now the
I was trying on all
is
her
complete.
bras. So I guess show me your bra room.
Show me the bra way.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Stupid.
We're so tired, guys. I feel like I'm dragging my brain over a finish line of some sort.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so the neighbor's like, just give me a number.
Yeah.
I will pay you that number to not help her and help me instead.
Okay.
So just what number is that? And the fortune teller says, what can I say? I don't want you to give me anything, for God has provided. And the neighbor's like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, I got a sack of gold from some boys.
I got paid in a cave by a bunch of boys. Which, by the way, Google that. Woman gets paid in a cave by a bunch of boys.
Stop Googling things.
Search wet cave, bunch of boys.
So,
can I call this episode Wet Cave Bunch of Boys?
No, it has to be wallet sandwich dinner.
Here's my wallet sandwich dinner. Wet Cave Bunch of Boys.
So the neighbor is like, oh, some boys gave you some gold. How did that happen? And so the woman tells this neighbor, what happened, that she was caught in the rain. She went into a cave. She found 12 boys.
Yeah.
And she talked to them for a little bit, and then they gave her gold.
Yeah.
And the neighbor's like, great, really good to know. Anyways, unrelated, I'm leaving.
I'm going to go hiking.
The neighbor goes and walks down the road to where the money dispensing boys are.
The boys with all the money.
Yeah. So the neighbor goes down the road and finds the cave and goes into the cave and finds 12 boys sitting around a campfire.
Yeah.
And the neighbor is like, oh, hi, I was outside and I was so cold and I just had to come inside. I hope you don't mind. And they're like, no, please come sit by the fire with us. And she's like, good, because it's so cold. And they're like, what month is it out there that it's so cold? And she's like, oh, it's March. Awful, terrible, shitty, stupid March.
You're doing like a pouty baby Marilyn Monroe. Ew, it's March right now. And I'm having an awful bad, sexy bad time.
When it's March.
Don't you know that when it's March, I have such a sad, sexy, booby time? Oh. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Guys, Google bad, Google sad, sexy, booby time.
Wet boy cave gold.
Ew. Google wet boy cave gold.
Wallet sandwich dinner.
Here's my wallet sandwich dinner.
I think we're man-door car hand hook dooring.
You having a stroke?
No.
Do you want me to stop recording?
If I ever have a stroke on the podcast, never stop recording. That's content.
If you ever have a stroke on the podcast, or you start having I guess I'm thinking of a seizure. If you ever have a seizure on the podcast, you will hear me saying, I'm not going to put anything in your mouth, so don't worry, like over and over again. I think that's how my anxiety would manifest itself, just assuring you that nothing will go in your mouth, not a wallet, not
a lunch,
not a sandwich dinner.
Nothing.
No
cheese, no lettuce.
You finish your seizure in peace.
You get to have a sandwich after you have your seizure. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, wait, hold on, that didn't make any sense. We just got possessed. What the fuck is happening? You're right, now that you're saying it didn't make any sense. You continue.
Just cut the whole episode.
I think my story was pretty good. Might leave most of that.
So the woman says, it's March, the cruelest, worst month in the year. And the men around the circle are like, oh, fascinating that you think that. What do you think of the other months? Probably that they're good, right? Like the March is the only bad one. She's like, ugh, absolutely not. You know what's worse than March? That stupid February.
Yeah.
She goes through all of the months and she's like, and you know what's worse than February? January. And insults all of the months in turn.
What do you think is the worst month?
January?
Yeah, January took forever. I'm not a fan of February.
For like 8 years in a row, February was like the worst. All of the worst things that ever happened to me happened during February. For like 8 years straight. Like nothing bad happened the rest of the year. Just every day in February was a new crisis in my life. So I should say February, but honestly, January.
What's the best month?
October.
October's a really good month. Max thinks that because it's her birthday month. And I think it's because it's your birthday month too. Because I'm selfless and hot.
Nice save. No, I think that because the weather is nice and Halloween.
Weather is nice and Halloween. Yeah. Here's my wallet sandwich dinner.
Sorry, to be clear. The weather is nice and Halloween.
The weather is nice and Halloween. Okay, Max. Go ahead.
Okay, Janey.
Now that we know the best month.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine with me if you continue.
Is October your favorite month?
Yeah, I think October's pretty good. Can't think of a month I like better. I do like summer. I'm a big fan of June. Early June, fucking fantastic. Because it's hot, but it's not like as hot as it's going to be. It's not unbearable yet.
I like April, too.
April's my birthday.
Yeah, and that's why I like it. Because I'm cool and hot.
Because you're cool and hot. Yeah.
Anyways, So she just goes through and fucking drags every month of the year.
Yeah.
And is like, and I bet that fucking July has
Crabs.
poop fingers.
Poop fingers? Max, what?
I don't know. I bet July has poop fingers. I couldn't think of an insult.
The July brother is like, wow. How'd she know? He holds up his poop fingers. Okay.
So all of the men are like, oh, well.
What a wild thing to say. What could it mean?
Poop fingers.
Like fingers made of poop?
No, God, no. That would be insane.
Oh, just fingers covered in poop?
Yeah, well, maybe not covered, but like...
He's got shitty fingers.
Yeah, like, maybe his hands look clean, but like...
Smell like poop.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's been like wiping his ass with his hand, and he's been washing his hands afterwards, but not very well.
No, that won't do anything. Oh,
Again, we can just cut the whole episode. I might have to start from the top.
Yeah. This is going to be a hard one to edit.
So she finishes dragging every one of the months for fucking filth.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, thank you for sharing your opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. And she's like, yes, it was great. And I do deserve an award. And they're like, oh, well, before you leave, hopefully soon, give us your rucksack and we'll fill it for you. And she's like, okay, thank you. And like gives them her little backpack.
Yeah.
And they all huddle around it and they all fill it up with stuff. And she's like, I'm going to have so much money.
July just shits in the bag. They all huddle around and hide as July just absolutely destroys the lining of her Birkin bag.
But there is gold in the bottom, so like she can't just throw out the bag.
It's fool's gold. Came from a butt.
Should we just stop?
You're so close.
So they fill her sack and they're like, take this with our compliments and don't open it until you get home. And she's like, okay, I wonder what's inside. And they're like, don't look. And she's like, okay. So she walks back to town. She gets into her house and she opens up this little bag and she's like, hooray, money. And then a bunch of snakes jump out and eat her alive.
Max, I called it.
A bunch of snakes sprawling out of the bag and devour her whole.
Those are some bad boys.
The line is specifically, the bag was full of snakes that came out and ate everything, including her.
Whoa.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything, including
Wow,
her.
they didn't come out to kill her. She was just also there.
Yeah, they were just real hungry.
Oh, good for them.
We have neighbor at home.
The neighbor at home.
So the quarrelsome neighbor is devoured by snakes, and her neighbor, who is very good, wow, and pretty too, sees that this has happened and says, oh, the gypsy knew everything all along.
What?
My neighbor was truly a bad woman. So the gypsy did her magic. The end.
Oh, that neighbor doesn't understand what just happened.
I don't understand what just happened. It's like a weird confirmation bias where she's like, the snakes must be because of the fortune teller.
Yeah, it is, technically.
Kind of. But also she's like, which must mean that I was right and that my neighbor was evil. And I'm good.
That woman needs to call the police.
On those snakes.
Everybody Google,
snake bag.
12 boy poop in a bag.
12 boy poop on a snake.
12 boy poop out a snake. Just Google it real quick.
12 boy poop in a
Alexa,
snake.
Alexa, Google 12 boy poop in a snake. Guys, this episode will only be funny if you're also sleep deprived. So we're going to need you to stop, don't sleep for 36 hours, and then replay this episode. Thank you. Okay. So that story has a very familiar structure of, because I tell the story a lot with, it's an Irish story of a man with a humpback who sings the days of the week to some fairy folk, some like little people that he sees in a tree, and they're singing like de Lunde March, de Lunde March, de Lunde March, and it's like Monday, Tuesday, and he comes in like Wednesday. They're like, wow, we're gonna take that hump off your back because you're a great singer. We've been singing that song for 1,000 years. You're the greatest singer-songwriter of our generation. But then another guy who has a hump on his back hears that story, goes there, interrupts their song to put Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just attack the rest of the days of the week in there badly. And they add the hump from the first guy onto his back because it's like, don't be a fucking dick. We were fucking singing our song.
Oh, they gave him a back rack.
They gave him, he has 2 humps now. He has to wear that weird greasy bra. But like,
I've also read variations on that story.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but every single time I picture the humps horizontal,
I've never,
like boobs rather than vertical.
They just add it in size to the first hump, so it's just one big hump.
No.
Now. It's not back boobs.
It's back boobs.
But like, with that thing, there has to be, because it is like a trope. It's days of the week or months of the year, and there is a firm punishment for being shitty, but there's a reward system for when you come in and you're good and you're nice, like, I don't know. And there's also the trope of hearing that somebody else has gotten something really good and then going there with bad intentions and then getting something really bad.
Yeah, like the ogress in the well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like familiar tropes. I am interested in why we have so many that are specific to days of the week or months of the year or like seasons, like it's like time based.
I almost wonder if the stories are used to teach kids the days of the week and the months of the year.
Yeah. When you picture the boys, are they all dressed like their months of the year? Like the fireman calendars?
No. I'm picturing them all wearing black t-shirts and jeans. Identical. They're all also identical.
I think I would also.
One of them has glasses. And it's March.
That's March.
That fucker.
I like how they all hate March. They were like, it's March out there, huh?
Sucks.
You're like, why did they open with that? They didn't have to do that. Made her defend him.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was interesting.
Yeah. To me, I think it's interesting. The fortune telling was not a component in the story. That was just something that she was doing.
She didn't even tell a fortune. All she said was, wow, everyone else is so jealous of you. Like, that's not a fortune. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's not even what's in her heart. Like, that's just like a nice thing you say to somebody that you kind of like want to get rid of.
Yeah. So the fortune telling was not a component. Also, the looking into the bags was not a component, which is weird.
Yeah, that shows up in that Baba Yaga story that you told of like, wait till you get home to open this.
It's the same like Orpheus kind of thing of like, you just have to wait.
You have to faith.
Look. Yeah. You can't know what's going on until you have finished this task.
There's a lot of like little people, fairy folk, like fae folk stories about that as well. Remember the story that you told about the lesbian in the woods?
Which one? Yes.
Yeah, the dancing lesbian in the woods.
Yeah, the lady of the wood.
The lady of the wood. Not the dancing lesbian in the woods. But that's basically what it was. Where she opened the bag and it was all leaves when she opened it before she got home and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lesson about being patient. But that's really not what the story was.
No, it didn't come up. Because neither of them opened it early, which I guess is interesting and genre aware to be like, oh, a magical gift. I should follow the rules very specifically.
Yeah. But that wasn't the point of it. The point of it was their true intentions.
Yeah.
It's very much you need to have good intentions. And if you don't, then just don't be there.
Yeah.
Which is actually something that we see in Native American legends a lot, where like the story of dirty clothes with like the little people in the woods again, where it was like, hey, as long as you have good intentions and you're not here to like be cruel to anything, then the forest will take care of you. You don't have to be afraid of the magical people here because they can see what's in your heart.
So true.
It's so true. You can just if you have good intentions, just walk into the woods.
Go on, get.
Yeah.
This story was interesting to me because a lot of things, if you look deeper, a lot of the things don't kind of make sense in sequence. But what's cool is that this is so specifically a story patchwork of just tropes, just a bunch of different tropes, which is just really interesting to me. It's one of those things where you can see kind of the lineage of the story as like this might have been the original story, and then components kept getting added and bits were forgotten and everything like that. And so you end up with this story that is moderately well known, but that upon investigation is kind of like, it's well known because it's well known. Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. Just an interesting thing. Also, a big reason why I wanted to tell this story is for the line, the snakes came out and ate everything, including her.
What if they were like, this will teach her, these snakes are trained to eat nice things. So she came here looking for gold and they're going to rob her. And then the snakes also murdered her and they're like, oh no, we gotta go before the cops know that we gave those snakes there. I like the idea that the snakes were just supposed to rob her.
What?
The snakes.
I have lost.
They were there to eat
train.
Everything. They weren't there to eat her. They were like, she went there for money, but instead they gave her a bunch of snakes that were going to eat everything she owned so that she'd be left poor. But the snakes got hungry and also ate her, and they're like, they robbed and murdered her. Oh no. That's not what we wanted.
That's not what we wanted.
Yeah.
Also, what were those boys doing? Just sitting in a cave?
You can Google it. Google, what are those boys doing in that cave?
I'm just gonna... No. I'm not going to.
Wet cave, grandma, 12 boys. Google it.
Don't Google it.
Okay. Max.
Janey.
Great job. Are there any stories? No. Are there
any stories? Let me tell you, a podcast you should listen to find out.
Are there any pictures or anything like that you have?
No.
Okay. Well, then there's not going to be a whole lot that I can put on the Instagram, but I will put the pictures of the books that we're using so that you can see them. And yeah. If you want to talk about these some more or tell your own stories that you've heard, because I'm sure you've heard a story that follows that trope of like months or days of the week or something like that. If you know of any and you really like them, or you grew up with a certain like one from, I mean, maybe your grandmother was like my grandmother, came from like a specific culture with her own set of these stories, email us at sortofthestory@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or join our Discord by joining the Patreon for $3. We want to chat. We'd like to get to know you.
Neil Gaiman has a short story that I think is about the seasons, and it's like the seasons personified and having a conversation, which is pretty good. That's a fun one.
Okay, guys, we're going to go and sleep forever.
100 years.
We're so tired. I don't know if you could... Guys, I know that we were really professional during this recording, but, like, we are actually really tired, and it's a school night. So it's time for us to get the fuck out of here. Rate and review this podcast if you're nasty. And, have a good day.
Bye.
Max.
Janey.
How many books about werewolves have you read?
Ever?
Just like, yeah, fan fiction books about werewolves. Specifically, books with werewolf sex.
None with explicit werewolf sex.
Because I just finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood and was introduced, as in read for the first time. I did kind of know what this was because there's somebody on TikTok that explains it, and I was scrolling by and stopped and listened and wished I hadn't. Introduced the concept of knotting. I
am familiar with the concept of knotting.
Can you explain it to the listeners?
It's this concept that werewolf penises get stuck in there so that it fertilizes and they don't come out.
It's very specifically...
It's like a Chinese finger trap, but with penis.
So, to me, it was created by people who, A, didn't understand how pregnancy works, because it's like, it keeps the cum inside, so they have to get pregnant. I'm like, that's not how anything works. You don't... That's like the whole myth of like holding your legs in the air, or like, there's just like, none of that actually matters. So that's the first thing. But they also don't understand how wolf penises work. There's no way that wolves do that.
My favorite upsetting penis fact is that there's like a little tidbit that goes around where people are like, ducks have corkscrew penises. And that's not true.
Yes.
Ducks have amorphous penises, and ducks who have duck vaginas have corkscrew vaginas.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a good penis fact. Anyway, I was annoyed reading it. Also, they were like, it's gonna stay in there for a while. Are you okay with that? It's like very consent-based because it's Allie Hazelwood. Yeah, it was really gross. Also, like, it like expands at the bottom. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And she's like, yeah, this is the best sex ever. I love this, actually. And then she like wakes up the next morning. She goes, how long did it stay in? And he's like, 30 minutes. And I'm like, what if they were attacked? This is impractical. Like, what if they were attacked?
What if he had to pee?
He'd have to do it inside of her. You have to have like a snack before sex. You have to pee before sex.
You gotta stretch for sure.
You for sure. Well, you should be doing that anyway. You guys, actually, this is. I guess this is just good sex tips. You should have a snack and pee and stretch before sex, even if you don't have a weird werewolf penis that's gonna jam itself up inside a vagina and never leave. You also have to lock yourself in a fucking soundproof, like, safe room, because if somebody attacks you, you're screwed.
Literally.
You're being screwed. They would have to like run around with you still on top.